Money ain't a thing. Money ain't a thing.
Money in the bank. Money in the bank.
We can talk, but money talk, so talk more.
Ash cash show, ash cash show, the ash cash show, ash cash show, the ash cash show, ash cash show, the ash cash show, ash cash show, ash cash show, the ash cash show, ash cash show, the ash cash show, ash cash show.
Baby, I got your money.
You're now tuned into the financial motivator himself, Ash Cash, Mr. Mind Right, Money Right. Money Right. Money Right.
Welcome to the Ash Cash Show every Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Make sure you go to ashcashshow.com, subscribe to the podcast, go to ashcashtv.com, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We got a lot of great things coming up. So make sure y'all subscribe to the YouTube channel, ashcashtv.com, ashcashtv.com. A lot of great things popping up. And so today, my message is about purpose, right? Purpose is bigger than the person, right? Purpose is bigger than person. And what I mean by that is that a lot of us are stuck on, trying to meet our basic necessities. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of us are focused on doing what is right or what is good or what is necessary for our families, right? For our immediate family. And while that should always be your priority, right? Because for me, my priority list goes God, family, community. So first and foremost, I put my relationship with God first. And so there's nothing that supersedes my relationship with God. So if God is instructing me to do something, I'm going to, by all means, I'm going to follow what God is and has been instructing me to do. You know what I'm saying? And then it's my family, right? And so, next is my family, where I'm like, all right, after God, instructing, it's then focusing on my family, right? It's then focusing on, being there for my family, being, provider for my family, doing everything that is necessary to make sure that my family is living their best life as much as I can control it, right? And then lastly is the community. You know what I'm saying? Is my community is like what, I want to make sure that I am giving back to my community and I'm building my community and I'm, what God has implanted in me, I'm using my life, I'm using my life as a example and being, greatness on display, and so all of that is my priority. What I believe is that God did not put you here. When I say abundance is your birthright, abundance is your birthright. Like abundance meaning everything that you need in life has already been promised to you. That you don't got to struggle for it. You don't got to work hard for it. Anything that you desire in life has already been set aside for you, right? So abundance is your birthright is really about that. And so if abundance is your birthright, then honoring God is about honoring who God has told you to be, right? Honoring God is being who God told you to be. And if we follow that, then being able to support your family and your community is the next logical thing. A lot of us, Wayne Dyer always says that the word ego is an acronym for edging God out, where God is the best planner, and so God knows, right? God knows which direction or where you should be going and the fastest route and all that stuff. But because we operate in ego, we will edge God out and we'll try to take over, right? I got this, right? I got this guy. Like I got this. And because of that, that's where the root cause of our struggle comes in at. You know, that's where the root cause of our struggle comes in at, because we operate in ego, right? We operate in ego instead of trusting God and saying, all right, you're going to provide for me. And so all I'm going to do is do what you say. And I'll have, what was promised to me. We try to go in the opposite direction. Right. And again, God, family, community. A lot of us, you know what I'm saying? A lot of us go and try to focus on community and put our family last, or focus on our family and put God last. And that's not the order. That's not the order. I believe that everybody here on this planet, on this earth, if you hear the sound of my voice, you have purpose. God has, you know, uh, put you on earth for purpose. And in order for you to, like you need to follow that purpose. And that purpose, right? The purpose, that purpose is um, gonna haunt you, right? If you don't follow it. Fat shout out to Kamani Meta says, not ego is your self-esteem. The issue is when you use your ego to say you're better than someone else. Um, I agree, right? I agree that your ego, I don't think ego is self-esteem, though. I think ego is, I think ego is edging God out. And when you try to pretend that you're better than someone else, that's still edging God out. Because when you realize your identity, your true identity of who you are, you'll realize that we are all we are all made in the image and likeness of the Most High God. And so every one of us, there's nobody that's favorite. You know what I'm saying? Um, and we're all made in the image of God. So for me to look at somebody as better than, meaning that like if I'm looking at them and saying I'm better than them, then that's my ego, because I'm edging God out. But here's the caveat to that also. Nicola Nicolo Dion, you think you know me, but you're right. You definitely getting Dr. Miles to that. You think you know me, but you're right. Um, you know, when we think that we're less than, right? When we think that we're less than, when we think that, you know what, I'm not good enough, or this person is better than me, like even lack of self-esteem, or not recognizing your power, is also ego, right? Like a lot of us only attach ego to being being arrogant. Like, oh, that's the ego. Oh, because there's this superiority complex that we believe ego is attached to. But the truth is, even when you diminish your light, right? When you diminish your light, when you um act like you're less than somebody else, that's your ego too. Because God didn't put you here to be humble, right? To be less than. That's what the word humble means, right? God didn't put you here to be humble. Humble yourself before God, though, right? Not before man, not before no one else. So a lot of people try to use that. Oh, well, God said, humble yourself before God, right? Because God is the creator and God is the greatest. So there is none greater than God. So humble yourself before God. But that's the period right there. God, it ain't no humble yourself in front of people, because we made alike. We made in the image and likeness of God, right? We made in the image and likeness of God. So if I made in the image and likeness of God, that's it. Like you like me, right? You like me. You know what I'm saying? Like we're like, I don't covet what you got. I don't look at what you got and think that you got more favor because you got it and I don't. No, you are in energetic alignment with that thing, and so congratulations, because you learned how to gain access to your abundance. That's it. That's it. Right? So when I see somebody else living a life and I have similar desires, I just know that they have learned, right? They have learned to access their abundance. That's it. Big difference. You know what I'm saying? Like they just learned how to gain access, and I have the same access though. I just have to learn how to allow. That's what a lot of us just don't know how to allow, right? A lot of us just don't know how to allow the abundance. Abundance is your birthright. It's there for you. It's available, but you just don't know how to allow, right? I have this bottle of water, and there's more than enough water, right? There's more than enough water in this bottle to quench my thirst. And if I continue to get thirsty, I know the source. I know how to get more water, right? But what happens if I'm doing this all day, right? If I'm doing this all day and I'm trying to get access to the water, then I'm gonna stay thirsty. Why? Because at the end of the day, I'm supposed to twist it, right? To gain access to this water, I'm supposed to twist it, pull the top off, and then take a sip. But because I may not know how to access, right? I may not know how to access the water, right? Then I feel like, oh, there's no water available to me. Nah. You know what I'm saying? It's not that there's no water available to me. It's just that I don't know how to access to it. So that's what abundance is your birthright is all about. And so we're gonna tap in, man, because it's about purpose today. And I think a lot of us are not getting access or allowing our abundance because we do not know how to listen to God and follow our purpose. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk. Dr. Miles Monroe. There's no substitute for purpose. There's no substitute for purpose.
Tapped in and tuned in. Elevation on another level. MindRightRadio.com.
There's no substitute for purpose. There's no substitute for purpose. What I'm saying is so important. This is more important than anything that you can hear right now. This is more important than anything that you can hear right now. Because there's so many people who are lost, frustrated, and saved. There is no substitute for purpose. I was thinking of an example, and there's so many of them. Have you ever seen a manufacturer who began to build something, and because it didn't become what he intended, he made it something else? You don't see that. They don't stop until they get what they purposed. There's no substitute for purpose.
There's no substitute for purpose.
No substitute for purpose. You cannot make a car a boat. You cannot make a car a boat. You can't decide, I'm tired driving this car, I'm going to drive into the water now and make it a boat. You just can't do that. You can't substitute the purpose for the product. You cannot make a microphone a cooking spoon. I mean, you could, but it would be microphone abuse. You may laugh, but it's true about your life. If you are becoming something, or can I say, trying to become something that you are not, you are abusing who you are. There's no substitute for purpose. There is no satisfaction beside purpose. Purpose and only purpose will satisfy. Purpose, therefore, will haunt you. That's why God uses the word prevail. He said, no matter what you plan, whether it's big, good, fantastic, evil, bad, or excellent, if it's not my purpose for your life, God says, my purpose will prevail over that plan. That word prevail means it will haunt.
It will haunt you.
If you did everything everybody wanted you to do, but not what you were born to do, then what you were born to do will haunt what you did. You got to understand God's word here. He says, my purpose will overrule all of your plans.
All of
no
your
matter
plans.
how good they are.
No matter how good they are.
Big they are. Purpose will frustrate your success.
Yo, purpose will frustrate your success.
You know people, maybe you are one of them.
More life, what up?
Everyone thinks you're doing well. But when you close the door at night,
Mac Don, what up?
and cut the light off, it's hell.
And your purpose will frustrate your success.
You cry. You weep, you're mad because you don't feel fulfilled. And then when you go on stage, everybody claps. But in secret, you are depressed. They think you are the best corporate executive in the whole company. But deep inside, you really want to go preach. Deep inside, you really want to go paint pictures. Deep inside, you want to do photography. You don't want to sit at no desk. Whatever your gift is, whatever your purpose is, it will make you frustrated.
Yo, what up?
Over all of your success. Why? Because purpose itself will overrule your accomplishments.
Will overrule your accomplishments.
Purpose will overshadow all your work. Purpose will depress your impressions.
Will depress your impressions.
You impress people, but you're depressed.
You depressed. Facts.
Because deep inside, you're not doing what you were born to do. God says, this purpose will make you sick. My purpose will haunt you. It will make you feel so frustrated that no matter how successful the world thinks you are, my deep calling purpose will make you sick. And some of you know what I'm talking about. Purpose will frustrate you. Nothing can take the place of purpose. Purpose is the key and the measure of success. You're only successful if you did what you were born to do.
You're only successful when you did what you were born to do.
Everything else is failure.
Everything else is failure.
So you only measure your success by your assignment.
Hey, yo, hold on. You're only successful when you do what you were meant to do. That's it. Everything else is failure. I need y'all to catch that. I need you to catch that. If you are struggling, right? If you are struggling and you are not living the life that you deserve, it is because you are not doing what you were born to do. Right? You're not walking in your purpose. And I agree. More Life Ross said that means it's all failures to learn from, right? Because Kamani says, I still don't know what I was born to do. And the truth of the matter is, if you still don't know, that means you're not doing enough, right? Respectfully, that means you're not doing enough. You haven't tried enough things. You haven't failed enough times in order to tap in with the things that you're supposed to be doing. Because the truth of the matter is, even knowing what you don't want is as important to knowing what you do want, right? Like when you find your purpose, right? When you find your purpose is not going to feel like work. It's not going to stress you out. It's not going to drain you. It will, every time you do it, it will invigorate you. It will make you feel, it will give you life, right? Once you find your purpose will give you life. It's not going to feel like a job, right? It's not going to feel like a job. It's not going to feel like a burden. You're actually going to be like revived by it. And when you do enough things in life, right? When you do enough things in life, you will realize the stuff that you don't like to do. And the truth of the matter, the stuff that you do like to do is really attached to your being. So the question isn't what am I doing to get to my purpose? The real question is, who am I being to get to my purpose? Right? Because for me, in my being, regardless of what I do, I always show up. Right? I always show up in my being. And so if I am inspiration and motivation, and so I believe that God has said, and this is based on my Neo, what up? Salute to my guy, right? I believe that my who I am in my being is based on my experience, right? And so my experience tells me that I didn't have no I had the same story as a lot of people. And because I had the same story as a lot of people, I was able to get ahead, right? And so as I was able to get ahead, right? Copy that, Neil. As I was able to get ahead, I believe that my purpose is to be greatness on display, right? Greatness on display. Showing, right, how you're showing your greatness. And so for me, I am the voice of the underdog, right? So like regardless of what your circumstance is, right? Where you come from, it doesn't matter. You can be, have, or do anything, right? That you put your mind to, which is why, when I wrote the book From the Block to the Bank, it was showing you that no matter what your circumstance is, right? No matter what your circumstance is, you can be, have, or do anything, right? And so for me, in my being though, right? In my being, I am inspiration and motivation. So it really doesn't matter, right? It really doesn't matter what I do, right? And catch this. It really doesn't matter what I do because I am in my being. And so if I decided to take up janitorial services, then I would be an inspiration and motivation to all janitors across the world because I'm inspiration and motivation. If I decided to join the Ringling Brothers, then I would be inspiration and motivation as a Ringling Brothers, act, right? And so my point is that a lot of us are focused on a lot of us are focused on our purpose, but we're asking the wrong questions. When you're focusing on your purpose, don't ask what should you be doing. Ask who should I become? Who am I in my being? And am I showing up as that every single day? Right?
If I told you to paint the wall over here and you paint that one, beautiful, perfect, excellent, you still failed. You still failed. That's why.
Right? So the question says, look, so you're saying our purpose is not the thing that we're doing, it's our being. It's our being. 100%. Because think about people that you see who are living their purpose. Right? It really doesn't matter what they do, right? Which is why they can go from thing to thing to thing to thing, right? They can go through different things and still show up as themselves. Michael Jordan shows up as Michael Jordan, whether he's playing baseball, basketball, GM, it doesn't matter what he shows up as. He's always Michael Jordan. Jay-Z shows up as Jay-Z, whether he's rapping, whether he's an executive, whether he's doing concerts, whether he's doing business deals. He's showing up as himself every time. It really doesn't matter. Right? I always say that I'm on my fourth life, right? From a street vendor, growing up in the projects, to a teller, to a banker, to an entrepreneur, to a speaker, to a mentor, to a coach. All of these different things, like these are different parts of my life. But the one thing for certain, one thing for sure, I've excelled at every single thing I've ever done. And every single time, I've been counted out. Every single time, right? From a street vendor, where people were telling me I was, I kept getting kicked out of school and all that stuff, and they told me I wasn't going to amount to anything. I made my life productive. Then from that space, I graduated to go to the banking world, and as a banker, people were counting me out. I was too young. I didn't come from wealth. Like, there was so much that people negatively focused on, and I excelled at that. Right? As an entrepreneur, as an author, I remember after my first book flopped, right? I put out my first book. After my first book flopped, people were telling me stop writing books. Right? People told me stop writing books. And then I decided to rebrand the book that flopped. I realized why it flopped, right? I wrote my first book in 2009. It didn't do as well as I needed to do. And so people told me to give up. They told me I'm wasting my time, right? And so I then re-released the book, right? Look, Keith, if you know, you know. Salute to my brother Marquise, right? I re-released the book in 2011, and then the book became number 3 in personal finance books. And then I I don't know nobody that does self-publishing better than me. I'm just saying. I don't know nobody else that knows how to for real, not like I don't know nobody else that knows how to monetize a book, create a 6 or 7 figure business from a book better than me. Right? Hundreds of thousands of books sold later, right? I excelled at that. You know what I'm saying? Fat shop, Miss Virgo in the building. My sister Tamika in the building. What the FICO saved my life, right? And so my point is, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, right? It doesn't matter what I'm doing. Anything I decide to do, I'm going to excel at. But first, I'm going to be counted out. And then I'm going to excel at it. Because my purpose in life is to inspire and motivate people into action. It's to inspire and motivate people into action. Right? And so I don't care about the time. That's never going to change. And so the goal for everybody listening is tap into your purpose. What is your purpose? Right? What is your purpose? Who are you meant to be? Right? Who are you meant to be? And your purpose stays the same. Right? Your purpose is always going to be the same. What you do with your purpose may change. Right? In the words of the Honorable Sean Carter, you could try to change, but that's just the top layer. Fam, you was who you was when you got here. God has specifically designed you to be one thing. There will never be another Ash Cash Exantis that walks this earth. I am a one of one. I am a one of one. You are a one of one. You are a one of one. There will never, right? There will never be another you. And God has specifically designed you for a specific purpose. Right? You have to just tap in to that being. Right? One question says, can my purpose be helping other people? I absolutely, that could be your purpose. You have to know that, though. And in what ways, right? In what ways are you helping people? And Kimani said it just right there, right? So that means I got to talk to God more. Absolutely. Right? Because the more you quiet your mind, the more you quiet you quiet your mind, the more you'll find out what that purpose is. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. I did a lot of talking. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. Mal's got the whole message for you. Mal's got the whole message for you. Hold on. Let's bring it back.
Tapped in and tuned in. Elevation on another level. MindRightRadio.com.
There's no substitute for purpose.
No substitute for purpose.
What I'm saying is so important. This is more important than anything that you can hear right now. Because there's so many people who are lost, frustrated, and saved. There is no substitute for purpose. I was thinking of an example, and there's so many of them. Have you ever seen a manufacturer who began to build something, and because it didn't become what he intended, he made it something else? You don't see that. They don't stop until they get what they purposed. There's no substitute for purpose. There's no substitute for purpose. You cannot make a car a boat. You cannot make a car a boat. You can't decide, I'm tired of driving this car, I'm going to drive into the water now, make it a boat. You just can't do that. You can't substitute the purpose for the product. You cannot make a microphone a cooking spoon. I mean, you could, but it would be microphone abuse. You may laugh, but it's true about your life. If you are becoming something, or can I say, trying to become something that you are not, you are abusing who you are.
You are abusing who you are.
There's no substitute for purpose. There is no satisfaction beside purpose. Purpose and only purpose will satisfy. Purpose, therefore, will haunt you.
Your purpose will haunt you.
That's why God uses the word prevail. He said, no matter what you plan, whether it's big, good, fantastic, evil, bad, or excellent, if it's not my purpose for your life, God says, my purpose will prevail over that plan. That word prevail means it will haunt.
It will haunt you, y'all.
If you did everything everybody wanted you to
Karen, what
do,
up?
but not what you were born to do, then what you were born to do will haunt what you did. You got to understand God's word here. He says, my purpose will overrule all of your plans. No matter how good they are, no matter how big they are, purpose will frustrate your success.
Purpose will frustrate your success.
You know people, maybe you are one of them. You know, everyone thinks you're doing well, but when you close the door at night and cut the light off, it's hell in the bed. You cry, you weep, you're mad because you don't feel fulfilled. And then when you go on stage, everybody claps.
Chaz, what
In
up?
secret, you are depressed.
Chaz Young is in the building.
They think you are the best corporate executive in the whole company. But deep inside, you really want to go preach. Deep inside, you really want to go paint pictures. Deep inside, you want to do photography. You don't want to sit at no desk. Whatever your gift is,
Whatever your gift is,
it will make you frustrated.
It'll make you frustrated.
It'll prevail over all of your success. Why? Because purpose itself will overrule
AbundanceCommunity.org.
Purpose will overshadow all your work. Purpose will depress your impressions.
Depress your impressions.
You impress people, but you're depressed. Because deep inside, you're not doing what you were born to do.
Deep inside, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Will make you sick.
Make you sick, y'all.
My purpose will haunt you.
My purpose will haunt you.
It will make you feel so frustrated that no matter how successful the world thinks you are, my deep calling purpose will make you sick. And some of you know what I'm talking about. Purpose will frustrate you. Nothing but nothing can take the place of purpose. Purpose is the key and the measure of success.
Purpose is the key and the measure of success.
You're only successful if you did what you were born to do.
You're only successful if you did what you were born to do.
Everything else is failure.
Everything else is failure.
So you only measure your success by your
Dr.
assignment.
Light, what up?
If I told you to paint the wall over here and you paint that one, beautiful, perfect, excellent, you still failed. That's why it's possible to be good but wrong. To be good
but wrong.
To
yo,
do a good thing but not the right thing.
Hey, yo, it's look, hold on. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to stop that. But look, it's possible to be good but wrong. Right? It's possible to do good but wrong. You know how many people are doing good things, but it's still the wrong thing? You know how many people are doing good things, but it's still the wrong thing? And they're frustrated. They're like, yo, I'm doing, this is good. Right? But you don't get rewarded for good. Ooh. You don't get rewarded for good. You don't get rewarded for good. You get rewarded for obedience. Don't miss that. Don't miss that. You don't get rewarded for good. You get rewarded for obedience. Right? For all my parents out there. If you ask your child to make up their bed, and instead of making up their bed, they go wash the dishes. Don't miss that. If you ask your child to go make up their bed or clean their room, and instead of doing that, they went and go wash the dishes. It's a good thing that they wash the dishes, but that's not obedience. Because you didn't ask them to wash the dishes. You asked them to make up their bed. And so a lot of us are doing good things. A lot of us are doing good things, but it ain't, that ain't your assignment though. That ain't your assignment. You doing good things. You doing good things. People, you like, yo, I'm out here being good. But that ain't your assignment. You out here being good and disobedient. Ooh. You out here being good and disobedient. I know I'm talking to somebody. It's somebody out here being good and disobedient and then wondering why they're not getting the blessings that they supposed to be getting. You being good and disobedient. Let me finish this.
Purpose is the right thing. It's not just a good thing. Purpose is that which you were sent here.
You were sent here
to perform.
To
Purpose
do.
is the end for which you began. Purpose is destination.
Purpose is your destination.
Make a note of that. Purpose is destination. And destination is destiny.
Destination is destiny.
Purpose is your end that is set. And then God backs you up to
God
begin.
backs you up though.
Therefore, you began because there's something that's already finished that you were supposed to start.
You're supposed to start.
Therefore, your birth was caused because of your destiny. Your existence became necessary.
Your existence is necessary
because of your destiny.
Because of your destiny.
So,
think about this. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Think about this. Your very existence, like, if God, look, here's what I'm trying to, I want you to understand, right? If God is the best of planners, and God created this perfect, right? God ain't gonna make no mistakes. So God created this perfect world, right? God created this perfect world in which God has designed you, like you're a part of a puzzle. You're a piece to a puzzle. God has designed you perfectly for actual purpose, right? Like you fit. Like if we were looking at a puzzle board right now, right? Every piece to the puzzle fits to make this perfect puzzle board. And God didn't make no mistake. God said, look, you are the A. This right, like you are perfectly put right here. But the only caveat to that is God gave you free will. Right? So God is not going to force you to get into your place. God gave you free will, so God is not going to force you to get into place. But you're also not going to get rewarded because you're out of place. Right? God is not going to reward you for being out of place, which is how we disallow, we block our abundance. We block our abundance because we're edging God out. Our ego, EGO, we're edging God out. And because we edge God out, we're doing what we think we want to do. And so we're out of place in the puzzle. And we're out of place in the puzzle. There's no reward there. There's no reward in being out of place. Right? And I'm speaking from experience. Every time I was disobedient, I never received the blessings that God had for me. Even though the outside world would look at me as a success. There were things that I did and I wasn't following my purpose. I wasn't following my destiny. Other people were looking and were saying, yo, Ash, you the man. And I felt depressed. Because there's no reward outside of your purpose, outside, right? Like being disobedient, there's no purpose, there's no reward there. And so it's important that you quiet the noise. Because if you're listening to other people, if you're watching other people, if you're filling yourself with junk and you can't hear what God is telling you, right? God, look, God ain't trying to set you up. It ain't a setup. It ain't a setup. God ain't hiding it. It's in plain sight. Your purpose is in plain sight. It ain't no setup. Your purpose is in plain sight. You just got to sit still. Stop doing so much. Sit still and be. Listen. Listen. You just don't listen.
You don't go.
I got 2 minutes. I gotta go. Y'all, my fault.
That's why when you go off course, there's something constantly pulling you back. No matter where you go in life, there's something that keeps on pulling you. Because destiny screams at you.
Destiny screams at you.
Every moment of your day. Every moment of your day. It quietly screams. It's the loudest.
It's the loudest
silence you can ever hear.
It's the loudest silence you can hear.
It's your destiny.
It's pulling at you.
There's something, even while I'm talking, it's probably crying louder now because I'm talking about it. Yes, it's screaming. It's that thing that is already established by God.
Already established by God.
That you arrive to fulfill. And no matter where you go, what you do, it haunts you.
It haunts, it will haunt you.
It overpowers. You try to drown it in busyness, but it's too strong. You try to bury it. All right,
I gotta go. I gotta go. The Ash Cash. Unfortunately, I gotta go. I got a hard stop at 9. Y'all love y'all. Hope y'all got the message. The Ash Cash Show every Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Make sure you go to the AshCashShow.com, subscribe to the podcast, AshCashTV.com, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I love y'all. AbundanceCommunity.org. Tap in, hit the link in my bio. Peace.
I ain't talking about rich. I'm talking about wealth. Money ain't a thing. Money ain't a thing.
Money in the bank. Money in the bank.
We can talk, but money talk, so talk more.
Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, the Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, the Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, the Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, the Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, the Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show.
Baby, I got your money.
You are now tuned in to the Ash Cash Show, your #1 source for financial motivation. Get your mind and your money right.